In this video, we'll be speaking about the worst NRL game this century, as well as the reality of David Fifita's $1.2 million contract and the future of Luke Brooks at the Tigers. Enjoy. The Titans have come back from behind to score a match winner in the final minutes as the Tigers let their first win slip through their fingers in a devastating 8-6 loss. Jacob Liddle was involved in a sickening head collision early in the game, as both sides were guilty of blowing good field position. Corey Thompson thought he was over for the first try, before dropping the ball with the line begging. Oliver Gildard then split the ball at the other end of the field, with the Tigers close to scoring in the corner. Tyrone Peachey was sent to the bin for a professional foul, reducing the Tigers to 12 men. A crusher tackle allowed the Titans to sneak in a penalty goal for a 2-0 lead. However, the Tigers replied with the penalty of their own to make it 2-2 at the break. The second half followed the same pattern as the first until Jermaine Asako ran behind David Fifita to give Luke Brooks a chance to slot a penalty for a 4-2 lead. Luke Brooks kicked another penalty goal to make it 6-2 before a stunning finish. The Tigers spilled a Toby Sexton kick that bounced off the goalpost with a minute to go in the in-goal, and AJ Brimson pounced to seal a crazy win. Here are the key takeaways from the match. The Tigers led a tryless contest 6-2 with a minute on the clock before a Toby Sexton kick hit the post, and as we know, AJ bounced on the error to steal a famous win. And it must be said that this is heartbreaking for the Tigers, and you can't possibly write a more devastating script. The Titans and the Tigers nearly became the first team to play out a tryless game in 29 years in a dour affair on the Glitter Strip. 29 years ago in round 12, the Bulldogs took on the Steelers in 1993 for the last tryless game. It had been slim pickings this evening. The 2-2 halftime scoreline was also the first time that has occurred since the first round of the 2020 season, with both sides blowing 5 try-scoring opportunities in the first 40 between them. Dale Ganane and Greg Alexander blasted both sides' execution in a horror first half. Chances are plenty for both sides, but no one was able to convert, Ganane said. A lot of eyebrows were raised as the Gold Coast Titans need to work out how to get the ball to their $1.2 million a year player, David Fifita, after another confounding performance against these Tigers. At one stage during the game, the Titans had a full set inside the Tigers' 20-metre line and didn't get the ball to Fifita once. Their star signing was even putting his hands up in comical scenes that wouldn't be out of place at an under-5s rugby league game, but still his teammates ignored him. Greg Alexander blasted the Titans for their inability to find their most damaging ball runner for a full set in the red zone. Can you believe that the Titans went through a set inside the 20 and they didn't give it to David Fifita? Alexander said. They don't get the ball to David Fifita once. Fifita is normally shy, but he had his hands straight up in the air. He was begging for it. Cooper Cronk believes the only positive for the Tigers and the Titans in their Dow clash was their commitment in defence, which has been an issue for both sides. If there was one positive for both teams and the coaches at halftime, they are defending their goal line. But I'll tell you what, both sides' coaches will have to have a really good halftime chat to get these teams up and about because they are unsure and playing with a lack of confidence. However, it is hard to work out if it was good defence or if it was just worse attacking from both teams. Cronk believes both sides have to make massive improvements if they want to do anything this season. Absolutely there is room for improvement, Cronk said at halftime. It was 2-2 when both those penalties came late in the half. Early on, both teams had plenty of opportunities on the goal line, but 5 opportunities blown. 3 for the Tigers and 2 for the Titans. Corey Thompson split the ball with the line wide open. The Gildart found space, but just didn't ice that play. In the 23rd minute, Tyrone Peachey got sin-binned, and I thought the Titans were coming, but then back-to-back errors stifled their opportunity to come back. Michael Ennis has called on Luke Brooks and the Tigers to part ways in order for both parties to move on and rebuild their futures in the NRL. 27-year-old Brooks and the Tigers have never played finals together after 175 games over 10 seasons, and Ennis believes his form has stagnated in recent years. It hasn't changed for a long time, Ennis said. I think the sooner Luke Brooks can lead the West Tigers, I think it will be best for him. I really do. When I saw the Newcastle stuff filter over the off-season, I thought this will be a great move for him. A fresh joint. There has been so much spotlight around him rightly or wrongly when the Tigers don't win. He cops the blame. I don't feel like he's getting any benefits out of remaining at the Tigers. Ennis pointed to the Sharks' tough call to not resign Shaun Johnson as evidence the Tigers need to go in a new direction to freshen up the side, and he believes a change will be best for Brooks as well. The Shaun Johnson example is a perfect one at Cronulla, Ennis said. Shaun was contributing in a lot of areas at Cronulla, but where they wanted to go as a footy club, he wasn't a part of that. They bring in Nicho Hynes and you can see what a fresh face and a fresh voice in a key position can do. They need that, the West Tigers. They need a new halfback that brings something completely different. Luke Brooks has been there a long time, and I think wherever Brooks goes, I think it will benefit him too. Ennis believes the Tigers have invested too much of their focus in Brooks, who has 2 years remaining on a $1.7 million deal, to turn around the club's fortune on his own, and it's not fair on the much maligned halfback. Why are they not chasing Jerome Hughes? Ennis said. There has been plenty of great halfbacks off contract over the last 3 or 4 years that they have never had any interest in. They've been solely invested in Luke Brooks being able to turn this around, and he hasn't been able to. It is time that Luke goes, you know what, thanks, but I'm done here, guys. Paul Gent believes Brooks is still a big chance of ending up at the Knights at some point in the future. I certainly frees up halfback money, Kent said, if the Tigers let him go. I wouldn't discount that he will end up in Newcastle sooner rather than later. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like down below, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.